Hello and welcome back to SF Giants Recap. And in today's video, we're going to be going over all the craziness that has been happening with Carlos Correa. Just a lot of dumb stuff with the Giants and the Mets took Carlos Correa. And so I know I'm late getting here to the news because it broke early this morning, like really early. And so it's been going on all day about what happened and everything. But we're going to go over that in today's live stream. Hopefully you end up enjoying, and make sure to be able to chat in the chat down below, and we'll get started. And so we're going to cut over to the screen over here where a article by the MDC Bay Area, Alex Popovich, he wrote about it. And just this morning, Carlos Correa, the Giants had Carlos Correa. I thought it was a done deal. They postponed the press conference, which was supposed to be yesterday, and they postponed that Monday because of health concerns. I didn't make any videos or anything about it because I was thinking, okay, this is just going to be blown off and it's going to be just a little bit more. And the Giants are just going to look into this thing on his physical, and we're going to be good to go. But no, it didn't turn out that way. The Giants ended up not getting any more deals done, not offering any other stuff. And the Mets came in and they keep spending money. The Mets has spent so much money, and the Giants, they had Aaron Judge for 6 minutes, and then they had Carlos Correa for 6 days, but none of them they're going to have for the 2023 season. So it's just very disappointing that a lot of this stuff could have happened and should have happened, but it never ended up this way. I feel like Aaron Judge just played us. He used the Giants to get a better deal offer from the Yankees. And then Carlos Correa, we had him and we didn't like something on his physical. And it turned out to be we lost him. So that's just kind of what's going on. Everyone's kind of saying that it's because the Giants wanted a cheaper deal and was pointing out like a little thing with his physical. I honestly have a hard time believing this because I feel like the Giants wouldn't do this and wouldn't be this cheap. And I think that they saw something and they realized that 13 years he's going to be 41. And if he has this little thing, it can develop into a bigger thing. And so I think that they wanted to kind of reverse back and not go a long deal with this lingering thing with his health. We don't know what it is. We don't know if it's injury, health concern, or whatever it is. We don't know because they won't disclose that. But what we do know is that the Giants saw something wrong. They didn't want to stay with it, and it makes sense with 13-year contract. Now, I am willing to bet if it was a 7-year contract, 8-year contract, this doesn't happen. That the Giants don't bring up this little lingering injury, and that everything's fine. We go with the press conference, and Correa is a Giant. But since it's 13 years, I think that adds a lot to it, and we end up having all of this happen, and he's going to the Mets for less money and one less year, which makes less sense to me. Like, I don't know if he just wanted to get somewhere and wanted to be ready by Christmas or what. And also, Carlos Correa's agent is Scott Boras, and we all know how Scott Boras works. He racks up the price. And so it's kind of interesting that he didn't rack up the price a bunch for the Mets and didn't also discuss more with the Giants even after this. And so I'm honestly okay with it. I'm not terribly mad. People say that we should be super mad because the front office is a joke right now, and it is. We should have been after Aaron Judge more. We should have tried and just kept Correa, but who knows? If Correa ends up getting injured later, we're gonna look like geniuses, and we're gonna be sitting with an open bank and having to spend money on more farm system for a big free agent next year. And so it could come out in our favor, but right now it looks like a big miss for the Giants, and we'll see how it turns out, because obviously that this is going to depend on the next 5 to 12 years, and we'll see how it goes, because I think that this Carlos Correa thing, it's kind of up in the air, and since they can't disclose what actually is happening with his physical and what actual stuff that the Giants saw. It's kind of hard to pinpoint of what they're trying to get away from. And so we'll see what happens in the next 12 years. And hopefully, I'm just hoping that this comes to bite the Mets in the butt, because this would be hilarious if the Mets go out, still Correa right there, give him 12 years, 315 million, and Correa, and they don't even I feel like they didn't even check or negotiate more. There was no rumors about the Mets negotiating and everything, and they just go out, pick them up, and who knows, maybe the Giants caught something that other franchises didn't. So we could either look like geniuses or we could look like idiots in 10 years. So we'll see how that goes. I feel like that it would have been a cool centerpiece to have Carlos Correa as a Giant, shortstop, Crawford at third, and we have Flores at first, Tyler Estrada at second, who's a beast. In center field, we got Yaz, right field Haniger, left field Peterson or Gonzalez, probably Gonzalez because Peterson's DH. And then pitching, we got Webb, Manaea, Stripling, Cobb, Junis, Wood, Discofani. So our team was not looking bad, but after losing Correa, and it doesn't look like we're going after anyone else, except I've seen a rumor about Michael Conforto. That's the only other thing I've seen, and that's not really all. That's also not really out there, not really a popular opinion by many Giants fans because he had a shoulder injury. But I'm going to go over what Zai said. He said, while we are prohibited from disclosing confidential medical information, as Scott Boras stated publicly, there is a difference of opinion over the results of Carlos' physical examination. And so we wish Carlos the best. And I feel like with this, it's very vague, and because they have to be, and I get that. But it doesn't, what do you mean a difference of opinion over the results? Is that a difference of opinion between the front office? Is there a difference in opinion over Scott Boras and Carlos Correa? Or is that over the doctors? So I'm pretty sure that's just between the Giants front office and Scott Boras and Carlos Correa, because I think that if you're a little bit skeptical and you're spending $350 million on a guy for 13 years, maybe it's safe to just say, okay, we see this thing and we're not going to risk 13 years with a huge contract on our payroll, and we're just not going to do that, which I get. But at the same time, you're just letting down fans. You're not going to get ticket sales this year. You're not going to get many jersey sales this year, and we're probably not going to win a lot of games this year unless Zaidi pulls out some more trades, some more free agent signings that we haven't noticed that will come in handy. But right now, it's not looking good for the Giants or the Giants fans, because in 2021, we did amazing. No one was really expecting us, but we had Crawford, who came the fountain of youth. We had Posey, who did amazing and was the leader. Kapler was doing good with managing the bullpen and everyone. The bullpen was spectacular, the best in baseball. Defense spot on. Everything went right, and we knew how to play. Last year, defense, crap. Bullpen, terrible, except for the last few weeks of the season. But other than that, the bullpen, garbage. And then the hitting, it just wasn't doing anything. And so if we don't have everything working, this team is not going to be a contender for the NL West, let alone the playoffs. So I think that Carlos Correa, having him on our team, would have made it so much a boost, because the Dodgers have had a quiet offseason. They've needed it because they've been above the luxury tax, but they've had a quiet offseason. And so with the Giants going after Carlos Correa, boosting us up, and the Padres kind of going down or just staying where they're at, the Giants could really compete. And having a pitching staff with 6 or 7 guys and then a bullpen who could use some help but doesn't look terrible right now, it could have been a dangerous team. But I feel like getting Carlos Correa off this team and then kind of going back to our old ways, we're not going to be seeing much of a difference. And I feel like we should have done more. I feel like we should have done more moves that would have targeted weaknesses like the bullpen, or maybe address the catching situation, because Wins, he wasn't doing terrible, and Bart wasn't doing terrible either. But I feel like we could have got rid of Wins and got Mike Zunino from the Rays, and he did amazing last year, and we could have targeted him, got him, pulled him there, and put him in the catching position, got rid of Wins, and our catching position is solid for the rest of the year. Even with injuries, we can pull up some guys. And then for first base, we got a bunch of guys who can, not necessarily their primary position, but like Flores, Davis, VR, all those guys can play first. Second, we got Flores and Estrada, and then also La Stella, even though La Stella is terrible. And then short, we got Crawford, and we can pull up some other guys. Third, we got a bunch of people, VR, Davis, Flores can play there. And then outfield, we were doing just fine with Haniger. I feel like that was a great signing. But right now, it's just without Correa, it's going to be interesting of how this works out and how everything kind of finishes out in free agency. If we get Conforto, I wouldn't be mad as long as the contract is reasonable. If it's a 1 year, 2 year contract with about around 15 to 25 million. I know that's a big range, but I haven't really looked into Conforto's what he's worth. But I feel like around there for a 2 year contract, that'd be worth it. Get a guy in the outfield who has some power. Even though he was hurt last year, the Giants can work with that. And I feel like the coaches are not really the problem when it comes to developing players. It's more of managing, especially the bullpen, and then the front office getting guys there. Because the Giants have the money. I don't know why we are not going out and trying to get a big splash. I know Correa was going to be a big splash, and then it just slid right through. So I don't know what the Giants are going to do, if they're going to surprise us with the trade or something in the regular season, or maybe next year during free agency, we may see the Giants go after and just spend a bunch of money. But I feel like targeting the specific things and the things that actually need to be addressed, like the first base position, kind of, and then the bullpen, then that'd be way better than going out and signing a 12-year deal, 13-year deal with Correa or Judge. So I feel like we just need to go after those guys, go after a bullpen, and start getting ready for this season to try to at least get us up there and compete, because right now we are a third-place team, and we're going to look terrible unless we do something that can help us. If that's 3 bullpen pitchers, great. If that's another outfielder, fine with me. If that's an infielder, great. But we need to do something, and it can't just be weak little moves. I really like the move with Ross Stripling, though. I think that was a great move. 3 RA, he had a whip that was good, and a FIP that was still solid. And so I feel like Ross Stripling was an under-the-radar move that the Giants really got a steal on. But the thing that I don't understand was signing Manaea to the same type of deal and same amount of money as Stripling, even though Stripling had a 3 RA and Manaea had a 4. Then their FIP and stuff was also in that different category up there. So that's what I don't understand with those deals. But other than that, I feel like those were good deals. But Correa's health thing, it's just unfortunate. I think the Giants really got screwed there. I mean, the Giants got screwed, and they screwed themselves in that situation, because they easily, or not easily, but they could have made some more adjustments to the deal, maybe lowered the years, but gave them the same amount of money. I don't know if that would have worked. Maybe they lower the money just a little bit, the same amount of years. I don't know what Correa and Scott Boras are trying to get. I don't know what the Giants are also trying to get, but we will see what's going to go down in this 2023 season. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, and the live stream, make sure to subscribe and like, and I will see you next time for a new SF Giants recap video or live stream.